Hello and welcome to another episode of Scott Reads Comics. Today we'll be covering Green Arrow #1 from the 4-issue miniseries published by DC in 1983. I grabbed this one during the big end of the year 50-cent sale at New Dimension Comics here in Pittsburgh, PA. And I was so happy to come across it because earlier I had found #2 on a different dollar bin dive. So now I have one, now I have two. I feel like I can dive into the series. We have a tremendous cover by Trevor Von Eeden and Dick Giordano, and a tagline at the top above the Green Arrow logo, which is an awesomely designed logo. The battling Bowman in his own magazine, at last. Let's dive in. For years, he has been a man with two names, serving one master, justice. For years, he has championed its cause in print as columnist Oliver Queen, and fought for it on the streets as the ace archer, Green Arrow. Now begins either his greatest triumph or his greatest failure. What a tremendous splash page by series artist Trevor Von Eeden, who at this time is a little more established. In the 70s, he became a sensation with Black Lightning as a teenage comic artist. But here we go now. He's a more established pro, and we're going to get into our credits in a second, but man, this Dick Giordano inks and Trevor Von Eeden pencils are really singing in this one. Star City, night, the present. Whap, whap, someone is being beaten here. That's enough, Scab. I do believe he's sorry he ordered us out of his establishment. No more, please. I don't think he's sorry, Rafe. I think he needs to be taught some courtesy. Suit yourself, my man. Ain't no one gonna stick their neck out to help him. Ain't that the? And he gets ready to pistol whip this poor shopkeeper even further when suddenly, twang, thack. Green Arrow is on the scene, and we have what amounts to a second splash page. Love it. Here's how it works, guys. You have until I count to 10 to stop your boisterous mischief, or I'll hand you boys over your respective heads, okay? 1, 2, 10. All My Sins Remembered is the title. Proudly presented by Mike W. Barr, writer, Trevor Von Eeden and Dick Giordano, artists, Len Wein, editor, John Costanza, letterer, and Tom Zuico, colorist. And the colors in this are fabulous by Tom Zuico. So here, Green Arrow makes short work of these two thugs, including this one who thinks he is a martial arts expert. And we find out in short order here that he is no match for Green Arrow, who is a formidable close combatant in addition to being an amazing archer. Love both major companies' archer characters. I really dig Green Arrow and I really dig Hawkeye. They're very cool. And their interplay is pretty cool in the JLA Avengers crossover by George Perez and Kurt Busiek, which I may cover on the show at some point. Here, he puts these punks down. Oh, I love this ad for the classic D&D. So cool. Not sure if that's Bill Willingham or not, but very cool artwork. Blazoned in my mind. So the shopkeeper thanks him. He says, I hope the police would come, but the cops only patrol this area in groups of 5 or more, fella. But I know a way to get their attention. So here he shoots it, looks like some kind of flare arrow, and hits a light and causes an alarm. Okay, so I guess it's maybe just an impact arrow. Twang! We're going to be hearing a lot of that in this series. Crash! Again, a great sequence of panels from Von Eeden and Giordano here. That'll bring them out. See you later, pal. Anytime you need a pound of pastrami, you let me know. No charge. Thanks, pal, but I have to run. What's the trouble, buddy? The cops say as they arrive. No trouble at all, officer. Not now. We see the great shadowed figure of Green Arrow running away. So he gets back to his apartment, and there's an insistent knock on his door. All right, keep your shirt on. I'm coming. How did you get in here without me seeing you, Mr. Queen? I've been waiting for you for hours. That's my business, isn't it, sister? I was going to ask you what you're doing here in this neighborhood at this time of night. But no mugger dare bother anyone as nervy as you. Touché, Mr. Queen. I was out of line. My name is Deidre Wagner. I'm a lawyer, and I've been ordered to present you with this. Ah, no, not another summons. Tell you what, Miss Wagner, why don't you... Wait a minute. That scent of stationery, that's lavender. That's Abby's perfume. And here we have the scent of the letter bringing Oliver Queen into a reverie, which flashes us back to when he was a much wealthier individual. And he meets this woman, Abby Horton. Mrs. Horton, I didn't hear you come in. No matter. I'm sorry about your husband. So am I. Shall we begin? This is a model of the proposed Horton Chemicals building, Mr. Queen. It should be a most agreeable tax shelter for your money. I admit that's a factor nowadays, but I'm more concerned with the helping people, and your corporation is a leader in medical research. Mr. Queen, will you follow me, please? Certainly, and he wonders what's going on. This is my Theodore study, Mr. Queen. I have not entered it since he died, but I sense in you a kindred spirit, a man he would have liked, had you ever met. We bought these goblets on our honeymoon, Mr. Queen. Will you join me in a toast to furthering of his work? I'd be honored, Mrs. Horton. Please, call me Abby. Only if you'll call me Oliver. So then the two become a sensation as they become dear friends, palling around the city together, being written about in the rags of the day, the newspapers. Much speculation going on. And then Oliver meets Abby's daughter, Cynthia, and there's a natural chemistry there. And Abby thinks, this looks promising. And for a time, Oliver and Cindy showed every intention of fulfilling that promise until... Who wants to see a bunch of screaming Italians? Try the fight, Cindy. You might enjoy it. Watch a bunch of savages hit each other? No, thank you. So they're just culturally and socially ultimately incompatible, so they break up. And to kind of get the taste of the relationship out of his mouth, Queen takes a vacation on his yacht. And those feelings could be quelled only by a complete change of scene, though the change was somewhat more drastic than he intended. You guys playing pirates? We ain't playing, but you get to walk the plank. Help! So Queen gets thrown into the ocean. He thought himself doomed, but something in Oliver Queen rebelled against accepting the last sleep without struggle. And dawn found him on an uncharted isle, abandoned, more alone than any man had ever been. Though perhaps not for very long. Someone might find me here if I can survive long enough, but how? The most strenuous thing I've ever done was stir a martini. Yet again, something within Oliver Queen refused to accept oblivion. And for the first time in his life, he found himself laboring. No other means of getting food, have to try arrows. And to his utter surprise, thriving under it. So here, he easily spears a fish as his archery skills begin to improve. For months, he was trapped there. For months, his skill with the bow increased until the pirates who abandoned him there came to the same island to hide the booty from another ship. This time, Oliver Queen could take care of himself. And here he has a great ricochet shot. And we continue. Yet it was a different Oliver Queen who returned to Star City. Hi, Abby, did you miss me? Millionaire Queen found. For increasing portions of his time were devoted to combating injustice, using his newfound skills under the name of the Green Arrow. This filled a need in him he never knew existed, and something had to give. So we see Queen, while enjoying his life as Green Arrow, lets his own fortune slip from his fingers. And Abby says, Oliver, I'm so sorry. Thanks, Abby. But it'll take more than sympathy to pull me out of this one. I could give you some money to get started again. No way. Just a loan, Oliver. Sorry, I snapped, Abby. Thanks, but no thanks. I got myself into this mess, and I'll get myself out. You're sure? Believe it, Abby. My time on that island taught me I was stronger than I ever knew. And besides, money's not so important. Not when you've got something to live for. So, great panel here. of Green Arrow, Black Canary, and Green Lantern as he further remembers the course of his burgeoning superhero career at the time. But finally, Mr. Queen? Huh? Oh, sorry, Miss Wagner. I was just remembering. And if this says what I'm afraid it says, you are requested to attend the reading of my will, RSVP, Abigail Horton. Damn. I'm going to need all the good memories I have. That's not an answer, Mr. Queen. I have to have an answer. The reading is tomorrow night at 8. Will you be there? Beats me, lady. What's your problem? Why are you pressing me so hard on this? You'll learn the answer to that, Mr. Queen, tomorrow night. Huh? What's that supposed to mean? Blasted, liberated women? We never should have let him out of the kitchen. Okay, that's horribly sexist. But we'll just move on from there. And the door slams. Oh, Abby. The next night. Okay, so I'm a sucker for a mysterious remark. At least I'll be able to sleep tonight. Looks like these folks haven't seen each other in years, and it looks like some of them liked it that way. Wonder if... Oh my God. So he sees his old flame, Cynthia, Abby's daughter, and they have a brief reunion. Oliver, this is my husband, Lord Gerald Sinclair. Jerry, Oliver Queen. How do you do, Queen? Cynthia has spoken often of you. She has? Begging your pardon, ladies and gentlemen, but the solicitor, Mr. Thorndyke, requests that you join him in the drawing room. Sit down, everyone. My name is Thorndyke, and yes, this is Abigail Horton here in the urn. It's a little irregular, maybe even improper, but Abigail herself was a little improper every now and then. And she did want to be present for the reading of her own will. And Oliver thinks, good old Abby. I, Abigail Stein Horton, being of sound mind and body, do hereby declare this my last will and testament to my son Theodore Horton Jr. I leave the sum of $2 million. That's all. To my daughter Cynthia Horton Sinclair and her husband Gerald Sinclair, I leave the sum of $4 million. What about her stock? Shh. To my brother Maxwell Stein, I leave the sum of $3 million and my family picture album. God rest, Abby. To my friend Oliver Queen, I leave the crystal goblets he so admired. They'll be in good hands, Abby. And the sum of $34 million. What? And my controlling stock in Horton Chemicals. It is my last wish that he succeed me as president and chairman of the board. What? So these panels here, beautifully sequenced, likely by the script of Michael W. Barr, because I don't think they were working Marvel Method at this point. So I think there was probably a full script on this. Brilliantly show the reading of this will. The outrage of the family members who feel they've been shafted, with the exception of Max Stein, her brother here. And then in shadow here, the reaction of Oliver Queen, which is just so incredibly rendered by Giordano and Trevor Von Eden here. Just amazing. Impossible. I'll sue. Mother would never. Mr. Thorndyke, I hadn't seen Abby for almost a year. Why did she do this? Please, I know you're confused about these proceedings, but if you'll all sit down, my firm's junior partner, Miss Wagner, may be able to shed some light on this situation. Thank you, Mr. Thorndyke. What none of you people realize is that Mrs. Horton changed her will to include Mr. Queen 2 nights ago. 2 nights ago, but Abby died. And the next morning, she was found dead. I received a call from Mrs. Horton that night asking me to come over quickly. In her bedroom, I instructed her in the proper terminology to include Mr. Queen in her will. I didn't ask her the reason for the inclusion, and she didn't tell me. 2 servants witnessed her signature, and I left. As far as I know, I was the last person to see her alive. Look at this incredible wistful look captured on Oliver Queen's face here as he listens to the details of what Ms. Wagner is relating. Just awesome. And again, this panel sequence here, just incredible. Mr. Thorndyke, that will, isn't it? It can't be legal, can it? It not only can be, but it is, Theodore. I'll advise you not to waste any money challenging it. Rubbish, Mr. Thorndyke. My mother was obviously not in her right mind. when she left this outsider her stocks. You can take that tack if you like, Cynthia, but I feel certain you'll lose. The money is Mr. Queen's, and if Mr. Queen wants it, I'm not so sure I do, but I'm damn sure Abby didn't want any of you to have it. Look at you. Except for Max Stein, I've seen more grief on Thanksgiving, and that was for the turkey. You can all go straight to hell. Slam. So here afterward, Oliver is with Dinah, Black Canary. You don't want the money, Ollie? Why not? We think we own things, Dinah, but in the long run, things own us. And that's especially true of money. When I lost my fortune, I was happy, truly happy for the first time in years. And that's not something I want to give up. But you don't have to. And then there's an explosion out from inside his apartment. Incredible shot here. Boom! The explosion bursting out of the windows. My God, Dinah, you okay? I think so, Ollie. But we better warn your neighbors about the fire. You go play Paul Revere, pretty bird. My last 2 fire extinguishing arrows can take care of the blaze. Twang! There's that sound effect again as he blasts them into the apartment, obviously releasing some kind of firefighting foam. But it wouldn't hurt for you to call the fire department just in case. Look at the open panel arrangement on this page. The storytelling in this is just incredible. In the way it's structured, it flows so nicely. And it's really kind of what I've come to expect from Trevor Von Eeden over the years. And I wish he'd done more, honestly. We'll cover more of his stuff on the show here, but man, he's just a joy to look at. It's probably against the rules to switch clothes any place but a phone booth, but fortunately, I've never read the rules. Good-sized crowd gathering down there, which means the only guy running away is my pigeon. So here he pursues him over the rooftops. Hey, he's heading for that abandoned factory. If he gets in there, I'll never catch him. So as much as I wanted the big fish, looks like I have to settle for a minnow. And here he fires an arrow to stop him. No need to whine, minnow. You aren't even hurt. Of course, if I turn you over to the folks who live in that building you bombed, that could change. Green Arrow, get away. I don't want to have to hurt you, too. Not to worry, Minnow, because you won't. Again, the open panel arrangement on the page does a brilliant job of telling the story as he uses one of his awesome gadget arrows to disarm this guy. And then obviously deploys a parachute arrow here to come down from the rooftop. On second thought, why let the folks who live in that building have all the fun? It's been a long day, and I am in the mood for a spot of violence. Congratulations, Minnow. You get to play punching bag. No, I'll talk. But before he can, he's about to reveal. No joke. By who, Minnow? He thinks I don't know, but he's really... No, I wasn't going to tell, Holy Hannah. And the night air is suddenly suffused with the odor of charred polyester and charred flesh. Doesn't take Sherlock Holmes to figure out why that guy was after me. Only one thing's changed in Ollie Queen's life lately, my financial status, thanks to Abby's will. I'm not nuts about playing the millionaire again. But if someone's willing to kill for those bucks, it seems to me he's the last guy on earth who ought to have them. So it looks like I've landed smack dab in the middle of a mess again. And there's only one thing I can do. So the next morning at Horton Chemicals building, Oliver Queen arrives. Morning, everyone. I'll have coffee in Danish, okay? Who? Whoever you are, you can't just... Sure I can. Don't go overboard on the cleaning, okay? I like things a little messy. Reminds me of home. Next issue, the mystery deepens. So here we have a great one-page exposition from our editor on Green Arrow and why he got a series and how it was past time for him to have one, even though it's only a 4-issue one. That's very cool. So just read the end here. And now Green Arrow is rich again. Can it be? Will Ollie Queen go back to the boardrooms, reopen his mansion, maybe team up once more with Speedy? Frankly, knowing the man behind this series as we do, We believe all this will happen the day Jonah Hex gets cosmetic surgery, Captain Carrot gets his teeth fixed, and the haunted tank is exorcised. However, GA's life may change. One direction it will never go is backward. So they're kind of teasing us for what's about to come. Great house ad for the awesome Amethyst series, which I covered the preview pull-out of in the very first episode of this show. So great. That was Green Arrow Limited Series number 1 by Mike W. Barr, Trevor Von Eeden, and Dick Giordano. Published by DC Comics, 1983. Great year. Bought it off the rack. Found it a few days ago in a 50-cent bin right before the end of the year. So I was so happy to share it with you all. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Tell your friends. And I will bring you more soon on Scott Reads Comics. Thanks for watching.